It's about the time you know God never left, only waited. It's about the time you know the delay wasn't denial but divine. Your name has been spoken in heaven more than you've wept it on earth. It's about the time you know the pain was preparation, not punishment. The truth is coming. You've cried enough to deserve it. They couldn't love you then. God made sure they'd be ready now. It's about the time you know what you thought was loss was alignment. What hurt you was never meant to hold you. They left, but your love still breathes in their silence. It's about the time you know you didn't fail. They weren't finished growing. Not all distance is rejection. Some of it is sacred timing. They loved you when they weren't even loving themselves. It's about the time you know your name is stitched in their regrets. They hid their love where only God could see it. You're the story their soul keeps rereading. It's about the time you know you're not hard to love, only hard to forget. The one who left still whispers your name in prayer. They tried to bury you, but you became the root of their becoming. It's about the time you know what broke, you also built the bridge. God didn't let them keep you, because they weren't keeping themselves. The silence wasn't empty. It was sacred. It's about the time you know you were always the home they couldn't name. Their heart knew before their mind ever caught up. You were never waiting. You were being prepared. It's about the time you know some delays are disguised deliverance. You didn't lose time. You gained clarity. You loved them before they could love right. It's about the time you know your name never stopped echoing in their soul. God is not late. He's just exact. The pain was proof that it mattered. It's about the time you know you were not forgotten, only protected. What tried to break you taught you. They loved you wrong because they never learned how to love right. It's about the time you know the tears weren't wasted. They were seeds. You weren't abandoned. You were anointed. They thought they walked away, but their soul stayed. It's about the time you know your presence still shakes their peace. What you carry is sacred. That's why they ran. God gave you the silence so you'd hear him. It's about the time you know your love healed someone who never told you. They couldn't choose you until they chose truth. Not all goodbyes are permanent. It's about the time you know the ache was your activation. They still think of you when no one's watching. God didn't say no. He said not like this. It's about the time you know you are the miracle they can't explain. You were light in a season meant for breaking. They didn't reject you. They reflected their unhealed wounds. It's about the time you know you're what they pray for after midnight. It's about the time you know love delayed is not love denied. You loved them deeply. That's what scared them. They'll return, not for closure, but for beginning. It's about the time you know you're the one who taught their heart to speak. The pain made room for the right one. You didn't break. You broke open. It's about the time you know their silence was heavy with truth. They see your face in every answered prayer. You are not their memory. You are their turning point. It's about the time you know God is rewriting the ending. You weren't left behind. You were set apart. Their soul still leans in your direction. It's about the time you know you were their lesson and their longing. They speak your name without sound. You were the only thing that ever felt like home. It's about the time you know you weren't crazy. You were connected. God hid the truth until your heart could carry it. They missed the one who saw them before they were ready to be seen. It's about the time you know your love is being returned with interest. What walked away is remembering what it cost. You are the peace they sacrificed for comfort. It's about the time you know their regret was the answer to your prayer. Your name still burns under their breath. Love like yours doesn't vanish. It transforms. It's about the time you know the waiting was protection, not punishment. They remember how safe you felt. God is restoring what ego destroyed. It's about the time you know their silence was full of you. You're not forgotten. You're divinely delayed. They never stopped feeling you. It's about the time you know your worth shook them awake. The one who left is returning with clarity. They never stopped loving you. They stopped loving their reflection in your eyes. It's about the time you know your pain has purpose. God saw what they couldn't handle yet. Your love was too honest for their illusions. It's about the time you know they're learning to fight for you now. They had to leave to find out who you were. You weren't a detour. You were destiny. It's about the time you know you are still their home. They didn't forget. They froze. Your tears watered their becoming. It's about the time you know the angels never stopped protecting this connection. You are written in their dreams. The pain is almost over. It's about the time you know the love you gave is resurrecting. God's timing is about to shock you. They were lost until they remembered you. You are not waiting in vain. It's about the time you know this isn't the end. It's the return. Heaven has started moving hearts for your reunion. It's about the time you know you never stopped being the one. Your love was a prophecy. They are catching up. You were the answer long before they asked. It's about the time you know their silence was loud with longing. They carried your memory through every mistake. You are the chapter they keep rereading. It's about the time you know heaven still sees you as chosen. They didn't let go. They lost their grip. God is realigning what ego interrupted. It's about the time you know your love changed their eternity. They couldn't unfeel you. They could only run. The one meant for you is waking up. It's about the time you know you were never too much, only too true. Their soul is restless without your light. The connection didn't die. It went underground to grow. It's about the time you know you're about to be chosen without hesitation. Their spirit still knows yours by heart. What left you is crawling back changed. It's about the time you know nothing holy can stay hidden forever. You were the start of their healing. Their silence is cracking. It's about the time you know your why is about to be answered. They're on their way, with the love you always deserved. You were their light in a world full of shadows. It's about the time you know everything is coming full circle. They remember the way you made love feel sacred. God is restoring what the enemy tried to bury. It's about the time you know this love is still alive. You never left their soul. They are trembling with the truth they ran from. It's about the time you know, yes, it was real. Their next move is coming, and it carries your name. The universe remembers your covenant. It's about the time you know you were worth every delay. They are walking toward you, slowly but surely. God didn't forget the promises. It's about the time you know they're ready now. Everything sacred returns. You're not broken. You're about to be restored. It's about the time you know the story is not over. Your love was their awakening. They're coming back, not to ask for you, but to keep you.